Gonna unpack the month as well. Because my gosh, it's crazy how much has gone on this month already. It feels like an entire year has played out and we have so much more left of this year, and the energy of this year is very. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fuck Your High Vibes podcast. I am Nicole Love, your host, and today's episode is going to be a monthly check-in. So I'm going to call it my love chat. So I am going to pull a couple cards here, a couple oracle cards to kind of get the needed direction around what to kind of talk about. Gonna unpack the month as well. Because my gosh, it's crazy how much has gone on this month already. It feels like an entire year has played out and we have so much more left of this year, and the energy of this year is very interesting as well. There's some layers to it that are to kind of be expected given what's going on. Like if you do astrology and things of that nature, like the planetary alignments, the energy, because I love reading energy. I love like energy modalities that help to get like really clear on like, oh, that's kind of what I'm sensing. So I'm going to pull some cards and let's just kind of chat about this month, unpack everything that has happened as best as I can here. So let's get into it here. So I'm going to pull a card from the Sacred Rebels Oracle here. And I'm also going to pull a card from the Unshakable Inner Peace Oracle card deck. And then I'm going to pull a tarot card from the traditional Rider-Waite deck. Okay. So those of you on YouTube here can see me pull the card. Ooh. Two cards came out from the Sacred Rebels. So now we're going to pull the Unshakable Inner Peace Oracle cards. This one. Oh. I'll take that one. Okay. I should have taken all of these out of the boxes before we started. Bear with me. Bear with me. Okay. We have, ooh. Okay. That's one. So let's see what the cards have to say. I pulled two cards came out for the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck here, and I have one card that says Beyond the Mind, the Heart Beats, and then we have Shock of the New. I feel like this month has been one of such mental mindfuckery is the only way I know how to say it. Like there's just been so much going on to take in and to process from a mental standpoint. And I really feel like the reminder here is that of balance, like needing to maybe close your eyes and really connect with what really matters to you in your life, in your world. Because the thing about things that go on that are beyond our control is like we can't change what other people choose to do. We can't control those things. We can control how we respond to those things. And so there's a need here with these cards. There's this reminder of connecting to your heartbeat, connecting to like closing your eyes, moving beyond the mind and how the mind is processing and taking in the shock of the new of everything that has been playing out this month, and coming back to your heart and being mindful of the things that speak to you, that have meaning to you, because that's how you can really control your energy. You only have authority over yourself. You only have that authority. And it's one of those things that I always remind people of, and you don't want to lose that. So when people say like, oh, I wish I could change this person. No, you know, because if you can change other people, then who's to say that other people won't want to change you? So you having this inner authority, your own sovereign being that you are, move beyond the mind, connect to your heartbeat. Because it's this reminder that in the shock of the new, beyond the mind, the heart beats. Because there is this conflict and this contrast that's going on in the world that's playing out on such a large scale that it's a lot. So what are you thinking about? So remember I was talking about the book Mental Equivalent. What are you holding in mind? What are you holding in mind? And sometimes by moving beyond the mind and getting into the heart, we can start to readjust our mind. We can start to change the mental equivalent. We can start to breathe through the shock of the new that we may be experiencing. So looking at the other cards that I pulled here, we have eliminate distraction, stop shining light on things you are not. Again, beyond the mind. We need to, this month, as we come to close here, it's the reminder, like I keep getting like, buckle up, buttercup, because like things are coming in. And, we have the year of the Chinese New Year is coming in February. So in like a couple weeks here. And with that, it's the fire horse. And it's like horses are already fast moving, but then you have a fire horse. It's just like, oh my gosh, things are going to move very quickly. And there's going to be a lot of fast moving things. People are going to feel like they have to respond very quickly because there's this fight against this choosing of, how do I say it out loud, what I'm thinking? Don't become so distracted by what's going on in the outer world right now. The world is gonna, the players that, the loudest people in the room on the world stage are always going to endlessly distract you from moving beyond your mind and remembering your heartbeat. So stop shining light on the things you are not by looking at the things that other people are doing. Now, I'm not saying close your eyes to your world and your community. No. That's where we need greater engagement. That's where we need greater connection, because your heart beats where you are. And your heart beats wherever you may be, wherever you exist. And so your heartbeat exists within your community. So how can you connect to that heartbeat? How can you eliminate those distractions? How can you reclaim your power? And how you can reclaim your power, how you can tap back into that is to move beyond the mind. Maybe close your eyes and breathe into your heartbeat. One of the practices that I love to do with my clients that struggle with calming down or are being really like in their head a lot is I have them to find their heartbeat. Find your heartbeat, to quiet yourself enough to listen to your heartbeat. And it's a practice. It's a practice. It really, really is a practice. I have to be honest with that. If you have never sat with yourself and know how to get to that place of stillness to hear your heartbeat within your body in such a way that it vibrates, it's so soothing too when you can listen to your heartbeat. It's one of the things that I recommend with people with anxiety. You know, I had a client that had really bad anxiety, and I would tell her, okay, well, try to find your heartbeat. So you can put your hands over your heart, or you can put your hands on your wrist points on the side of your neck. Just find a way that you can connect to your heartbeat and listen to your heartbeat. It helps to eliminate those distractions that are overstimulating you and moving beyond the mind and being empowered and reclaiming your power, because your power comes from your heart. It's the electricity that emits through your heart. Because when our heart stops beating rather, we're no longer in power in our bodies. So the shock of the new that's going on is because people really are seeking joy. How can you be the joy seeker in spite of the shock of the new? What little victories can you celebrate this month as we look at this month and the heaviness that some of us may feel? And also for those who have been in practice of moving beyond the mind and eliminating the distractions and have connected to their heartbeat that has powered them in such a way, they have reclaimed their power where the shock of the new does not impact them in such a way, but it empowers them to continue to be the seeker of joy. The seeker of joy, of recognizing the little victories that they can celebrate. What are those little victories that you can celebrate of your life? Given all that has happened this month, before we move into a new month, what are those things? So these are the cards that I pulled. And then also this one. And then we have this reminder of, yes. Okay, I'm looking at this card and I pulled I think it's the Six of Wands, and it's a horse. It's a horse. And I didn't even look at the card, but literally we're moving into the fire horse. And on the card, these particular cards, they have chakras and planetary, like planets and zodiac signs, and also the elements. And this talks about a fire. It has fire. And Leo is very like roar. like roaring type energy. So it's just this confirmation that we're moving into this energy of the fire horse here. And Jupiter talks about expansion. And it's also has the heart chakra on here. So in order to align to this energy, to be in alignment in such a way of achievement and improvement, it's the reminder to move beyond the mind and to connect to your heart, to reclaim your power, to be the joy seeker, to look for the little victories that you can celebrate in your life. What were the little victories? What were the tiny little victories of the month that you just had? How can you take the time to celebrate that? How can you joyously celebrate those tiny victories? Because this month, you know, we talked about the numerology. How can you lean into the numerology of this being? We're still in transition. We're still in that transitional period, guys. We're still the fool on the cliff. We have we I think some people have jumped off of the cliff. Some people are still kind of surveying the land, and I think it's all okay. Like, you get to choose at this point if you want to jump right now. But it does come a point where you have to make a choice. And then we move from that transitional period into the magician, which is the one on the card. I was also reminded that this is a 10-year as well in numerology, because it breaks down to 10, and then you just drop the zero traditionally, and then that's how you come to the one universal year. But it's actually a 10-year. And the 10 in the, hold on, let me find it. Let's pause here. So I wanted to pull the 10 in the tarot deck, and that is the Wheel of Fortune. And so the Wheel of Fortune, and I think it helps you to kind of understand the energy of this new beginning, is very fiery, because the Wheel of Fortune actually has, I just realized it has Jupiter on here too. So there's a level of fiery expansion that is happening because the cycle is in process, essentially. And I feel like we're living out a choices that were made years ago. We're having to deal with the consequences of those choices. And also, we're being provided with an opportunity as we go through this new cycle to do something different. I think there's still going to be this reevaluating of structures as people rebuild from the 9-year. And the Wheel of Fortune, with that 10 energy, when you look at this card, it has these different elements on it. And there's a snake on it. And the previous year was a snake year in the Chinese New Year, zodiac year. It was the year of the snake. And so we're the Wheel of Fortune has turned from that transitional period, but it's also the reminder that these are things that are playing out that had nothing to do with the previous year, but because the previous year was one of looking at the structures, looking at the things in play in such a way that we are at this point where we're like, wow, so many things are being revealed in such a way. And it's just unraveling and unraveling and unraveling. And so, yes, it's this universal 1 year of new beginnings. it's also the reminder of how are we beginning in a way that may need adjustment. Because the thing about new beginnings is that you don't just automatically like, okay, well, we're just going to start again. Kind of talked about that in cutting through the bullshit of, resolution culture. It's not this hard transition in that way. It has, because I even talked about change, how change is slow and inconsistent, right? And uncomfortable. And that is where we are. That is where we are, and that's where we're going. And the reminder here is to connect back to your heart. And also the solar plexus is seeing like how it's like your power center. How are you allowing yourself to be empowered by where you are? Looking at the patterns in your life and making choices that make sense. Coming back again and again to yourself and understanding from moving beyond your mind and connecting to your heart, your heartbeat, connecting to your heartbeat, the reminder to reclaim your power that you have. Your heartbeat is that reminder of that. You have a heartbeat and you matter and you have power in your heart, the beating of it. I'm feeling on my heart right now and I can feel it. I can feel the power. I can feel the gentleness and the power at the same time. I feel such a sense of joy in this connection. And there's going to be a shock of the new that continues because guess what? That's always playing out. It's always playing out. I think it's going to be a bit more fiery for sure. But how can you find the shock of the new through reclaiming your power and celebrating maybe the shock of the new in a joyous way? Maybe the shock of the new is meant to shock you and be like, oh my gosh, wow, there's something new that can come from this shock. But it starts by moving beyond the mind, eliminating the distractions and stop shining light on things that you are not. And how can you reclaim your power is through the remembrance that your heart beats and thus you have power and are empowered. And you have the capacity to be from that power center, the joy seeker, the seeker of joy and expanding that joy during these fiery times that we're in. Because we are in this universal 1 year, and depending on your blend, it will look a little bit different. But universally speaking, my point of doing this love chat here, pouring the love into you, is to remind you that you get to choose how you respond to things. We can't change other people. We can't choose for other people. Other people have the power to choose. How are you choosing from your own power center? Your own power center that moves you beyond the mind and eliminating the distractions that may influence your sense of power, that may not be in alignment of your sense of power. And this is discernment. I'm talking about discernment. I have been speaking about discernment this entire time. The discernment, connecting to your intuition, is huge and it can be so powerful. And I really focused on working from the neurologically speaking around money and abundance. And one of the things that I learned that just kind of, I was like, oh, wow, never thought about it. she was talking about the different clairs, clairaudient, clairsentient. There's different ones, but those are the ones that just popped to my mind. That they can help you to tap into your intuition. And when you tap into your intuition, that allows you to reclaim your power of discernment, to remember this inner authority that you have innately within you access to, because you came into this world with that contained within you. And it is my belief that our heart is what can bring us back to that remembrance of who we are and who we have always been this entire time. But for whatever choice, for whatever reason, has distracted us. So you get to choose the distractions. You get to choose what you want to eliminate. You get to choose what you seek. And the way forward, the path forward, is to move beyond the mind, to connect to your heartbeat, and to listen until you can hear it so clearly that it eliminates all distractions of your capacity to reclaim your power, of your capacity to seek the joy, and to celebrate all the tiny little victories of your life. All right. So that's it for now. And I really hope that this inspired you in some way and help you to see something more clearly. So I hope you will subscribe to the Fuck Your High Vibes channel, leave a comment, and share this with someone who may need a reminder of moving beyond the mind and connecting to their heart. So as we close out, thanks for listening. I hope this has inspired you in some way. This is me just chatting as lovingly and as honestly as I possibly can, and passing forward a message of love-centered hope, encouragement, tuning into your vibes and being aware of what may be fucking with your vibes at this time. And with that, this is Fuck Your High Vibes. I'm Nicole Love. And remember, if this shook you, good. Now do something with it. And remember, fuck the illusion. Embrace your truth. I'll let it be.